Imagine, for a moment, that you are sitting in your living room. You are not feeling well at all.
Oh, that is the worst.
It really is.
Yeah.
Your head is hot, you have a fever, you know that you need to see a doctor.
Right. Or imagine a completely different situation.
Okay.
You are at your office. You have a very important business idea, an idea that could, change the entire company.
Oh, well, a big idea.
Exactly. A big idea. And you need to share this idea with a senior manager.
Yeah. Or maybe you just want to get your hair cut.
Just a haircut.
Right, at that new, very popular salon in the city center. You want to look good for the weekend.
Of course. So what do all of these situations have in common?
Well, whether you are sick or trying to advance your career or just wanting a haircut, you face the exact same challenge.
Yes, you do.
In every single one of these situations,
Hmm.
you have to pick up your telephone.
You have to make a call.
Exactly. You have to speak to someone you do not know.
Mm.
And most importantly, you have to find a way to navigate their calendar.
Navigating a calendar, that is so important.
It is. You need the right vocabulary to navigate someone else's schedule. And that is our mission today.
I love that mission. Navigating a schedule means finding your way through the days and the hours.
Days and hours, yes.
It means finding a specific time that works for you
Right.
and a specific time that works for the other person.
Right. It's a shared agreement.
Yes, a shared agreement about time. And in the professional world, well, this agreement is absolutely essential.
If you want to survive and, if you want to thrive and be successful in an English-speaking environment, you absolutely must know how to make an appointment.
You really cannot avoid it.
No, you cannot. So we are dedicating this entire deep dive to mastering this single vital skill.
Making an appointment.
Yes, making an appointment. We have a wonderful stack of sources to guide us today.
We have some really great material.
We do. We're looking at detailed notes about business culture.
Mhm.
We have a list of essential English vocabulary words for scheduling. And we have a very interesting real-life dialogue.
A real conversation.
Yes, a dialogue between two professionals trying to set up a meeting. We are going to listen to their conversation.
We are going to break it apart.
Exactly. And we are going to learn from their successes and their mistakes.
And because we are focusing on specific vocabulary, we are going to take our time today.
Yes. We will speak very slowly.
Deliberately.
Yes, deliberately. Because learning new words takes time.
We will explore the context behind every word. We will provide multiple simple examples so you can truly understand.
So let us jump right in. But before we even look at the vocabulary of scheduling, we need to address something big.
The elephant in the room.
Exactly. We need to talk about human emotions. Specifically, we need to talk about fear.
Fear, yes. Making an appointment makes people very nervous.
The telephone itself is scary, especially for many people learning a new language.
It is terrifying.
So let us unpack this. Let us explain why.
Hmm?
Why does the simple act of calling a receptionist cause so much anxiety?
Well, the telephone removes all of our natural communication tools.
What do you mean by that?
When you speak to someone face-to-face, you have an enormous amount of visual information. It helps you understand them.
Like seeing their face?
Right. You can see their eyes. You can see if they're smiling or frowning.
Body language.
Exactly. You can read their body language. If you say something confusing, you can instantly see the confusion on their face.
And then you can fix it. You can
Right.
correct yourself.
Yes, but on the phone,
You completely lose that safety net.
you are blind.
Yeah, you only have their voice. And if you are an English learner, the voice on the other end of the telephone might belong to a very fast talker.
Oh, a fast talker on the telephone is such a common challenge.
Yeah, it really is.
Think about a receptionist at a busy medical clinic or a corporate office. They might answer hundreds of phone calls every single day.
Hundreds.
Yes. And because they repeat the exact same greeting over and over again, they tend to speak very quickly.
So fast.
And when you hear that rapid speech, it is very easy to panic.
Your heart beats faster.
You forget the words you wanted to say.
And beyond the speed, there is the vocabulary itself.
The words are hard.
They are. Business English uses formal, multi-syllable words on the telephone. These words can feel intimidating.
Like the word availability.
Yes. Availability. Let us say that slowly. A-V-A-I-L-A-B-I-L-I-T-Y. Availability.
It's a very long word.
It is. Or the word scheduling.
Scheduling. S-C-H-E-D-U-L-I-N-G. Scheduling.
Hearing these long words through a tiny telephone speaker can make anyone hesitate.
The fear is completely natural.
It is. But we have to overcome this fear.
We do, because of a fundamental cultural rule in many Western countries.
Right. In places like the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, or Germany.
You cannot simply show up.
Let us define that phrase. To show up.
It means to arrive at a location without a prior plan.
You do not call ahead.
No.
You do not send an email. You just walk through the front door and expect someone to see you.
Now, in some cultures around the world, showing up is perfectly normal.
Oh, absolutely.
It is considered friendly. It is spontaneous. You might walk into a local business, greet the owner, and do your business right there.
But not in many Western business cultures.
No.
Yeah.
In those places, everything runs on a strict schedule.
The culture is built entirely around planned time.
Yes, it is.
I want to push back on this a little bit, though. I want to explore the limits of this rule.
Okay, let us do it.
Let us imagine a medical scenario. Let us say I am very sick.
Right.
My throat hurts. I am coughing continuously. I have a high fever. Is it really that unacceptable to just walk into a medical clinic in the United States or the UK? Can I just show up, walk to the front desk, and say, please help me, I am sick?
Well, the distinction depends entirely on the severity of the situation.
Severity, how bad it is.
Exactly. In an absolute life-threatening emergency.
Like what?
For example, a broken leg, severe chest pain, or a deep cut. You go directly to a hospital emergency room.
Right, the ER.
Yes. An emergency room is designed for people who simply show up. They expect the unexpected.
Okay, but what about a normal doctor's office? A standard family clinic?
That is completely different.
Really?
Yes. If you just walk into a standard medical clinic with a cough and a fever, it is highly likely that the receptionist will look at you and ask, do you have an appointment?
And if I say no?
If you say no, they will often tell you that the doctor is fully booked.
Wow.
They might tell you to go home. They will tell you to call the main number and schedule a visit for tomorrow or the next day.
That sounds very harsh, especially to someone who is not used to this culture. They will actually send a sick person away.
They will, because the entire medical system relies on the predictability of the schedule.
The schedule is king.
Think about it. A doctor only has a certain number of hours in the working day. Each patient requires a specific amount of time.
Right.
If 20 people decide to just show up at 9 in the morning, the doctor physically cannot see them all.
The waiting room would be chaotic.
Extremely chaotic, people get angry, and the quality of medical care drops.
So appointments create order out of chaos.
Exactly. Appointments create a smooth, predictable system. A system where everyone gets their fair share of time.
You cannot simply walk through the door of a doctor's office or a corporate building and demand to see an expert.
You must play by the rules of the schedule. You must enter the system.
The rules of the schedule. It truly is a system with its own logic and its own language.
It is. And to fully understand how this system works, we are going to look at our source dialogue.
Yes, our story. We are going to follow the story of two professionals trying to arrange a meeting.
Let us set the scene.
Okay. In our source dialogue, we have a main character. She's the person making the telephone call.
Right. Her name is Julianne Horton.
Julianne Horton. And she is trying to reach another professional, a woman named Mrs. McNeely.
Julianne Horton and Miss McNeely.
Now, before we listen to what they say, we need to understand who they are, because their job titles are very important to the outcome of this story.
Very important. The sources tell us that Julianne is a financial advisor.
Let us break down this job title. Financial advisor. Financial. Financial. Advisor. Advisor.
The word financial relates to money, banking, and investments.
Right. And an advisor is a person who gives advice. Someone who helps you make complicated decisions.
So a financial advisor is a specific type of professional. They specialize in helping individuals or companies manage their wealth.
To clarify for our listeners, what does that actually look like on a day-to-day basis?
Right.
They're not just sitting at a desk counting physical cash or helping people open basic checking accounts.
Oh, no. Their job is much more complex. A financial advisor looks at a person's entire financial life.
The big picture.
Yes. They look at how much money the person earns, how much they spend, and how much they save.
Okay.
Then they give expert advice on where to invest that saved money.
Invest. To put your money into a vehicle or an asset, hoping it will grow over time.
Correct.
Can you give us a few concrete examples? Where might a financial advisor tell a client to invest their money?
A very common example is the stock market.
The stock market.
Yes. A financial advisor might tell you to buy shares. Shares are small pieces of ownership in large, successful companies.
And if the company does well, your money grows.
Exactly. Another example is real estate.
Houses, buildings.
Yes. They might advise you to purchase a rental property, or they might help you set up a retirement fund.
Oh, a retirement fund is crucial.
It is.
When you reach a certain age, maybe 65 or 70, you stop working, but you still need money.
Right, for food, housing, everything.
Yes. A financial advisor helps you plan decades in advance so you have enough money when that time comes.
Precisely. So Julianne, our caller, is an expert in money management.
Okay, now let us look at the person she is trying to call.
Miss McNeely.
Yes. Our sources indicate that Mrs. McNeely works at a firm called Fairbrook Consulting. The key word here is consulting.
A consultant. CONSULLTANT. Consultant.
This sounds similar to an advisor, but it operates in a slightly different context.
Yes, it does.
What exactly does a consultant do in the business world?
A consultant is an external expert. They are hired to solve specific problems for a company.
So they come from outside.
Right. When a business is struggling with something they do not understand, they bring in a consultant.
Can you get an example?
Imagine a large bakery. They make wonderful bread, but they are losing money because their delivery trucks are always late.
Okay, the trucks are late.
The bakery owners know how to bake, but they do not know how to manage a delivery fleet.
So they hire a logistics consultant.
Exactly. The consultant comes in, studies the problem, uses their specialized knowledge, and provides a plan to fix the delivery routes.
And once the problem is solved...
The consultant leaves.
Okay, so Ms. McNeely is one of these experts. She provides high-level advice to businesses.
This is a fantastic setup for our scenario.
It is. We have two high-level experts. Julianne is a financial advisor. Ms. McNeely is a consultant.
They both have very impressive professional titles.
Yes, and in the business world, a professional title carries a lot of weight. It signals your expertise and your status.
Often, a strong title can open doors for you. People hear director or consultant or advisor, and they're willing to listen.
However, context is everything.
It really is.
As we will discover later in this dialogue, a professional title can sometimes have the exact opposite effect.
Under the wrong circumstances, a title can slam a door shut.
It can make people actively avoid you.
It is like a complex social game.
A game.
Yeah.
Yes. Imagine a giant board game where the goal is simply to get into a room and talk to someone.
You cannot just kick the door open.
No. You have to play the game of scheduling. You have to pass the receptionist.
You have to use the exact right vocabulary words to win the game and secure the meeting.
That is a very accurate way to frame it. Scheduling is a game of strategic communication.
Let us listen to how Julianne opens this game. Let us analyze her very first interaction with the receptionist at Fairbrook Consulting.
Okay. The phone rings. The receptionist picks it up and says, "Hello, Fairbrook Consulting. How may I help you today?"
This is the standard, polite, professional greeting in almost every English-speaking office.
Now, pay close attention to Julianne's response. Julianne says, "Yes, good morning. This is Julianne Horton calling. I am calling to arrange an appointment with Ms. McNeely, please."
That is a great opening.
Let me repeat that sentence very slowly, because it is the perfect template for you to use.
Go ahead.
I am calling to arrange an appointment with Ms. McNeely, please.
The strength of that sentence rests on one specific verb.
The verb is arrange. A-R-R-A-N-G-E. Arrange.
To arrange something means to put it into a specific order.
Like putting things in place.
Yes. It means to organize components into a structured plan. You can arrange flowers in a vase.
You can arrange chairs in a circle for a presentation.
And, crucially, you can arrange time.
There is another verb that is frequently used in the exact same way.
What is that?
The verb is schedule. S-C-H-E-D-D-U-L-E, schedule. To schedule means to plan an event for a specific time and date on a calendar.
Right. Julianne could have easily said, I'm calling to schedule an appointment.
Both arrange and schedule are excellent choices.
The reason these words are so effective is because they instantly establish a tone of professional respect.
Let us think about the alternatives. What if Julianne had called and simply said, "I want to see Miss McNeely"?
Oh, that is bad.
Saying "I want to see" is grammatically correct, but culturally, it is a disaster in a business setting.
It sounds like a demanding child.
Imagine a young child at a toy store shouting, "I want to see the new toy."
It is entirely focused on what the speaker wants right now, without any consideration for the other person.
What about another variation? What if she said, "I need to talk to Miss McNeely"?
I need to talk to... That creates a false sense of urgency.
It sounds aggressive.
Yes. It implies that your need is more important than whatever Mrs. McNeely is currently doing.
But when you use the phrase, "I am calling to arrange an appointment," you're sending a completely different message.
You are acknowledging the system.
You are saying, I know Ms. McNeely is busy. I respect her time. I want to participate in the formal process of organizing our schedules.
By using the word arrange, Julianne passes the first test.
The receptionist recognizes that Julianne understands professional etiquette.
Because of this, the receptionist is willing to assist her. The receptionist asks what day Julianne would like to meet.
And this begins what we can call the ping-pong match of scheduling.
The ping-pong match. I love that image.
In the game of table tennis, or ping-pong, you hit the ball over the net, and you wait for the other person to hit it back.
You go back and forth.
Until someone scores. Scheduling is exactly like this. You propose a time, they check the calendar and propose a different time.
You go back and forth.
So Julianne serves the first ball over the net. She asks, how is Thursday? Does she have any time available in the morning or afternoon?
Let us pause and isolate a critical vocabulary word from that sentence.
The word is available. A-V-A-I-L-A-B-L-E. Available.
This is perhaps the most important word in our entire deep dive today. Let us explore its definition and its usage in depth.
The core definition of available is having free time.
It means a person is not occupied with other tasks.
They are not in a meeting.
They're not on a phone call.
They have empty space in their schedule, and they are free to do something new.
We use this word constantly when talking about people.
Yes. If I walk over to your desk at the office, I might ask, are you available to help me with this report?
You are asking if I have the free time to assist you right now.
Or if I am calling a clinic, I might ask, is the doctor available at 3 o'clock?
But the utility of the word available goes far beyond people. We use it just as frequently for physical objects and physical spaces.
That is a great point. Let us give some real-world examples of that.
Okay.
Imagine you walk into a very crowded restaurant. You see many people eating and talking. You walk up to the host at the front door and you ask, is a table available?
You are asking if there is an empty table that is not currently occupied by other guests.
Or consider planning a vacation. You call a hotel in a popular tourist city.
You tell them you want to visit in July.
You ask, are any rooms available for the second week of July?
You are asking if the hotel has empty rooms that you can rent.
In an office environment, you might need a place to hold a meeting. You look at the conference rooms.
You might ask a colleague, is the large conference room available at noon?
You need an empty, unoccupied space. So Julianne asks if Ms. McNeely is available on Thursday. She is asking if Ms. McNeely has any empty space in her day.
The receptionist receives the question and looks at the computer screen. The receptionist replies, let me double check.
Double check. This is a wonderful, highly practical phrase. It is two words used together as a single action. Double check.
Let us define what it means to double check something.
To double check means to verify something for a second time.
It means you look at the information once, and then you deliberately look at it again to ensure complete accuracy.
Why is this second look necessary? Why is not looking one time sufficient?
Because human beings make mistakes.
That is true.
The business world moves very quickly, and details are easily missed. To double check means you want to be 100% absolutely certain that there are no errors.
It is a form of risk management.
It is. We do this in our personal lives all the time, often without thinking about it.
Give me an example.
Imagine you are leaving your house for a long vacation. You lock the front door. You walk down the street.
Okay.
But suddenly you feel a moment of panic. You think, did I really lock the door?
Oh, I hate that feeling.
So you turn around, you walk back to the house, and you physically pull the handle to make sure the door does not open.
You are double checking the lock.
Exactly. It gives you peace of mind.
In a professional setting, double checking prevents embarrassing and costly mistakes.
Very costly.
Imagine a receptionist books 2 different clients to see the boss at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Let's say 10 in the morning on a Tuesday.
That is a scheduling disaster.
One client will arrive, find out they have to wait, and become very angry.
The boss will look disorganized.
By taking 5 extra seconds to say, let me double check, and looking closely at the calendar, the receptionist prevents this disaster.
So the receptionist double checks the calendar for Thursday, and the receptionist discovers a problem.
Thursday is completely full.
Miss McNeely is attending a conference.
The receptionist hits the ping pong ball back over the net. She says, how does next Monday work for you?
Now it is Julianne's turn to respond, and Julianne uses a very specific, very diplomatic phrasing.
She says, actually, I have got something scheduled on Monday morning, a conflict with another client.
I want to spend some time analyzing this sentence. because there is a lot of cultural nuance hidden inside it.
Julianne could have simply said, I am busy on Monday. That is a short, grammatically perfect sentence.
Why doesn't she just say, I am busy?
Why does she use the phrase, I have something scheduled, and call it a conflict?
Well, saying I am busy is acceptable, but it lacks professional weight.
It sounds too casual.
Yes. When you say I have something scheduled, you are elevating the importance of your time.
You are telling the receptionist that your Monday morning is not just casually occupied. It is officially committed.
The plan is written down. It is finalized. You are communicating that you take your own schedule very seriously.
Which implies you will take Miss McNeely's schedule seriously as well.
Exactly.
That makes sense. It sounds much more professional. But what about the word conflict? C-O-N-F-L-I-C-T. Conflict.
It is an interesting word.
When I hear the word conflict, I think of an argument. I think of two people shouting at each other.
Or two countries going to war.
A conflict is a clash. Why is Julianne talking about a fight when she is just trying to set up a meeting?
In the context of scheduling, the word conflict does not mean an emotional argument between people.
Okay.
It means a mathematical impossibility on the calendar.
A mathematical impossibility.
Yes. A schedule conflict occurs when two different events are trying to occupy the exact same block of time.
Because according to the laws of physics, you cannot be in two places at once.
Precisely. If you agree to meet client A at 9 in the morning in your office, and then you accidentally agree to meet client B at 9 in the morning at a coffee shop across town,
You have created a schedule conflict.
the two appointments are fighting each other for your presence. Only one can win.
I see. The times are conflicting, not the people.
Yeah.
But why is this considered such a polite way to decline an invitation?
Because it completely removes personal rejection from the equation.
How so?
If someone invites you to a meeting and you say, I cannot meet with you, I am busy, it can sometimes sound dismissive.
Like you don't care.
The other person might wonder, are they really busy or do they just not want to see me?
It can hurt their feelings.
Yes. But when you say, I would love to meet, but I have a schedule conflict, you are blaming the calendar.
Blaming the calendar.
You are saying, it is not my choice to say no to you. The rigid structure of time prevents us from meeting.
It is a neutral, objective fact.
It protects the relationship while firmly declining the time slot.
That is a brilliant communication strategy. Blame the calendar, not the person. Okay, so Monday is out because Julianne has a conflict.
The ping pong match continues.
Julianne asks, can she do Tuesday instead?
Oh.
The receptionist double-checks the calendar once more.
She looks at Tuesday, she smiles, she says, sure, Tuesday morning is perfect, we have an opening at 10.
They did it.
They successfully navigated the calendar, avoided the conflicts, and found a shared block of time.
Tuesday at 10 in the morning. The appointment is tentatively arranged.
It feels like a victory.
The game is won, but this is where our story takes a sudden and dramatic turn.
Disaster strikes at the very last second.
Just when everything seems finalized, the situation changes completely.
What happens?
The receptionist is entering the details into the calendar. As a standard procedure, the receptionist asks one final, routine question.
Routine, normal.
She asks, may I ask the nature of your business and where you are calling from?
This simply means, who are you and what is the topic of this meeting?
Julianne, being an honest professional, answers directly. She says, I'm calling from Merton Financial Advisors. We would like to discuss her portfolio.
Listen carefully to what happens next. The receptionist hears two specific phrases, financial advisors and portfolio.
Instantly, the tone of the conversation shifts. The receptionist stammers.
She says, oh, Merton Financial Advisors. Actually, I just realized Tuesday is no good either. She is, busy forever. Sorry about that.
Busy forever.
And then the ultimate rejection. We hear a click, the dial tone. The receptionist hung up the telephone.
I have to laugh at that phrase. Busy forever.
It is ridiculous.
Busy forever is obviously not a real scheduling term. You will not find that in any business textbook.
No, you will not.
Busy forever is a polite but firm way of saying, I never ever want to speak to you again. Please do not call back.
She just terminated the call. No meeting on Tuesday. No meeting ever.
It is a shocking plot twist. Julianne was seconds away from securing the appointment, and then the door was slammed in her face.
Let us analyze exactly why this happened. What went wrong?
Julianne did not make a single grammar mistake. Her English was flawless.
She used the word arrange.
She inquired about availability.
She politely navigated the schedule conflicts.
She followed all the rules we just discussed, so why did the receptionist hang up on her?
To understand this, we have to look past the vocabulary. We have to examine the real-world motivations of the people involved.
The human context.
Consider Miss McNeely's position. She is a consultant. She's likely a very busy, very successful executive.
And because she is a successful executive, she earns a significant amount of money.
And people with money attract people who want to manage that money.
Exactly. Many financial advisors, while offering a legitimate service, operate essentially as salespeople.
They cold call successful executives.
They want to convince the executive to move their money into new investment plans, because the advisor earns a commission or a fee based on the money they manage.
So if Miss McNeely is a high-level consultant, she probably receives phone calls from financial advisors constantly.
Maybe every single week. Maybe every single day.
She is likely exhausted by it. She does not want to be sold anything. She just wants to do her job.
Therefore, she has likely given her receptionist strict instructions to block any sales calls.
And this brings us to the specific words that triggered the rejection.
The receptionist asked for the nature of the business, and Julianne said she wanted to discuss Ms. McNeely's portfolio.
Let us define that word clearly for our listeners. Portfolio. Portfolio. Portfolio.
In the world of finance, a portfolio is the complete collection of all your investments.
It is a grouping of all the stocks you own, all the bonds you own, your real estate, your retirement accounts, everything.
A financial advisor looks at your entire portfolio to see how your money is growing.
Saying, "I want to discuss your portfolio," is a classic textbook opening line for a financial sales pitch.
It is the exact phrase a salesperson uses when they want to get access to your money.
Yes. When the receptionist heard the title financial advisor, she was suspicious.
And when she heard the word portfolio, her suspicion was confirmed.
She knew instantly that this was a sales call.
Her job is to protect her boss's valuable time, so she canceled the meeting on the spot.
I think the best way to understand the receptionist's behavior is to compare her to an email spam filter.
Oh, an email spam filter. We all use email.
We all know that we receive hundreds of junk emails, advertisements, scams, unwanted offers.
To protect our inbox, our email providers use a spam filter.
How exactly does a spam filter work?
A spam filter automatically reads the text of every incoming email before you ever see it. It is looking for specific keywords.
Keywords.
If an email contains words like free money, or click here to win, or urgent account update, the spam filter recognizes these as dangerous or unwanted keywords.
It instantly grabs the email and throws it into the junk folder.
You never have to read it. Your inbox stays clean.
That is a brilliant analogy. The receptionist operates as a human spam filter for Mrs. McNeely's calendar.
Exactly. Julianne was the incoming message. The receptionist scanned Julianne's request. Everything looked normal at first.
But then, the receptionist detected the keywords, financial advisor and portfolio.
The human spam filter activated. Action, block the meeting. Action, send the caller to the junk folder.
Action, busy forever.
This story perfectly illustrates the incredible power of context and language.
You can have perfect pronunciation. You can memorize all the correct phrases.
But if your underlying message is something the other person actively wants to avoid, you will still fail to get the meeting.
Words matter, but the intention behind the words matters just as much.
Julianne had the perfect key, but she was trying to open the wrong door.
It is a tough lesson for her, but a great learning opportunity for us.
Even though Julianne's call ended in disaster, the scheduling process she followed is still the standard.
And our source notes provide us with even more vocabulary to help us navigate this process.
Indeed. The notes contain a secondary practice dialogue filled with what we can call visual vocabulary.
Visual vocabulary. These are phrases that do not just describe time abstractly. They paint a vivid picture in your mind.
When you can visualize a concept, it becomes much easier to remember and use in conversation.
Let us examine 3 specific phrases from this section. Booked solid, back to back, and pencil in.
Let us start with the first phrase, because it is one of the most evocative phrases in business English. Book solid. 2 words. Booked. Solid.
How do we explain the feeling of a calendar that is booked solid?
Think about the word solid. A rock is solid. A brick wall is solid. There are no holes in it.
Nothing can pass through it.
When we apply this to a schedule, it means the schedule is completely impenetrable.
I want to give our listeners a very specific mental image to hold on to.
Okay, what is the image?
I want you to imagine a large parking lot in the center of a very busy city. This parking lot is designed to hold hundreds of cars.
Got it. A huge parking lot.
Imagine you are driving your car and you desperately need to park. You pull into the entrance of the lot. You drive down the first row of spaces.
You look left, you look right.
Every single parking space has a car in it. A red car, a blue truck, a silver van. There are 0 empty spaces.
You keep driving.
Yes, you drive to the second row, you slowly roll down the aisle, again, completely full.
You drive to the third row, the fourth row, all the way to the very back of the lot.
Every inch of painted asphalt is covered by a vehicle. There is not even enough empty space between the cars to park a small bicycle.
That parking lot is booked solid. It cannot accept one more item.
Now take that image of the parking lot and apply it to a professional's daily calendar.
Your working day is the parking lot. The hours in the day, 9, 10, 11, are the parking spaces.
If every single hour of your day has a meeting, a phone call, or a specific task assigned to it, your day is like that parking lot.
You have no free space. You cannot accept one more meeting.
In our earlier story, the receptionist used a variation of this phrase when she looked at Thursday.
She said Miss McNeely was booked solid all day Thursday.
That means from the moment she arrives at the office in the morning until the moment she leaves in the evening, every hour is filled.
It is a very strong, highly descriptive way to tell someone, I am extremely busy. I physically cannot fit you into my schedule. It usually means you are experiencing back-to-back meetings.
Let us look at this phrase. Back to back. 3 small words linked together. Back. Back.
What exactly does this mean when we talk about time?
Let us start with the physical image. Imagine 2 people standing up. One person is facing the north. The other person is facing the south.
Okay.
They step backward until their bodies touch. Their backs are pressed against each other.
There is absolutely no space, no air, no distance between them.
They are standing back to back.
When we use this phrase to describe meetings, it means the meetings are touching each other on the calendar with 0 space in between.
Correct. Let us trace this on a clock. Imagine you have a team meeting scheduled from 1 to 2 in the afternoon.
Okay, 1 to 2.
According to your calendar, your next commitment is a client phone call from 2 to 3. And after that, you have a project review from 3 to 4.
So when the clock strikes exactly 2, the team meeting ends and the client phone call immediately begins.
Exactly. The end of one event is the exact starting point of the next event. There is 0 transition time.
Think about the physical and mental reality of what that means for a human being in an office.
It sounds exhausting.
If the meetings are truly back-to-back, there is no time to breathe.
No.
There's no time to stand up from your chair and stretch your legs.
Yeah.
There is no time to walk down the hall to use the restroom.
There is no time to even pour a glass of water.
You finish speaking to one group of people, and you immediately start speaking to another group of people.
It is exhausting. And in modern corporate culture, particularly with the rise of video conferencing, back-to-back meetings have become incredibly common.
You just click from one digital meeting room straight into another hour after hour.
Which leads us to a very practical problem.
What is that?
If everyone in the business world is booked solid and everyone is trapped in back-to-back meetings, how do you ever make a plan?
The calendar seems too rigid. It feels like a wall of solid brick. If you need to meet with someone, how do you find a way in?
That is where our third visual phrase becomes your most valuable tool.
The solution to a rigid, overwhelming schedule is to introduce flexibility. You do this by asking to pencil that in.
Let us explore this phrase. Pencil
Now.
that in. Pencil. Pencil. Pencil.
I want to break down the logic of this phrase because it is brilliant. We all know what a pencil is.
It is a wooden writing tool with dark graphite or lead inside.
But why do we specifically say pencil in? Why don't we say pen in or marker in?
The answer lies in the fundamental difference between the tools themselves.
Think about what happens when you write with an inked pen. The liquid ink absorbs deeply into the fibers of the paper. It dries. It becomes permanent.
If you make a mistake with a pen or if you need to change a word, you have a problem.
You must cross the word out with an ugly dark line. You cannot easily undo ink.
Ink represents permanence. It is a firm commitment.
Exactly. But a pencil is a completely different technology.
A pencil mark sits gently on the surface of the paper. And most importantly, every pencil comes equipped with a small rubber eraser on the end.
Eraser. E-R-A-S-E-R.
If you write a word with a pencil, you have the power to change your mind. You just rub the eraser over the paper, the graphite disappears, and the paper is clean again.
The pencil represents flexibility. It represents the ability to change without leaving a mess.
Therefore, when we use the phrase pencil in a scheduling conversation, we are suggesting a tentative appointment.
Tentative means unofficial. It means a plan that is subject to change.
When you say, let us pencil that in for Friday, you are communicating a very specific agreement.
You are saying, let us hold this time on the calendar for right now. I will make a note of it. We both intend to meet on Friday.
However, we both acknowledge that our schedules are chaotic. If an emergency happens or if a conflict arises, we can easily use the metaphorical eraser.
We can change the time, and neither of us will be angry.
It is a low-pressure way to make a commitment. It reduces the stress of a booked, solid schedule.
Let us look at how this works in the secondary dialogue from our source notes.
We have two colleagues, Person A and Person B. Person A wants to schedule a project review for Thursday afternoon.
Person B looks at their calendar and realizes Thursday is impossible.
Person B says they are completely booked solid with back-to-back candidate interviews all day.
Notice how naturally those phrases are used together to describe an overwhelmingly busy day.
But Person B doesn't just reject the meeting. They look ahead to Friday. Person B says Friday at 3:30 is manageable.
Manageable means it is possible to accomplish without too much difficulty.
Person A accepts this alternative. Person A says Friday at 3:30. Yes, that works. Let us pencil that in.
They've agreed on a tentative time. They also agree on a location, deciding to meet at the downtown cafe.
Then, Person B concludes the interaction with a very modern step. Person B says, I will add it to my calendar right now and send you a digital invite.
The digital invite is how the modern game of scheduling is finalized. A digital invite is an automated email.
When Person B creates the meeting in their electronic calendar software, the software sends an email to Person A.
Person A clicks accept, and suddenly the meeting magically appears on both of their phone screens and computer screens. The time is officially blocked off.
You discuss availability, you navigate any schedule conflicts, you find a time to pencil in, and you lock it down with a digital invite. That is the complete mechanical process of making an appointment.
But the mechanical process is only half of the story.
Once you have navigated the vocabulary, once you have penciled the meeting in and accepted the digital invite, the real test begins.
When Friday at 3:30 arrives, you have a profound responsibility.
You have to physically show up and you have to be on time.
Which transitions us from the mechanics of language to the unwritten rules of professional behavior. We need to discuss the culture of time.
The culture of time is fascinating because it changes so dramatically depending on where you are standing on the globe.
Language and culture are deeply intertwined. You can speak perfect English, but if you do not understand the cultural expectations of time, you will still fail in business.
Our notes specifically highlight the cultural attitudes in places like the United States, the United Kingdom, and Germany.
Let us dive deep into this. To understand business etiquette in these specific cultures, you have to understand their underlying philosophy.
In these societies, time is not viewed as an abstract, infinite flow. Time is viewed almost like a physical commodity.
It is an object you can hold. It is a resource that can be spent, saved, or wasted.
There is a very famous English idiom that summarizes this perfectly. Time is money.
Time is money.
Yes. It implies that every hour of the working day has a specific financial value attached to it.
When you are working, you are generating value. When you are waiting, you are losing value.
Because time has such a high value, being late for a scheduled appointment is not just a minor mistake. It is considered a serious professional offense.
It is a breach of trust.
Let us examine the practical reality of being late. Suppose you have a meeting scheduled with a colleague at 2. You do not arrive until 2. You are 10 minutes late.
In some global cultures, 10 minutes is completely irrelevant. It falls within an acceptable window of arrival. No one would even mention it.
But in the USA, the UK, or Germany, arriving 10 minutes late without warning sends a profoundly negative message.
What exactly is that negative message communicating to the other person?
It communicates a lack of respect. When you are 10 minutes late, you are forcing the other person to sit in an empty room, doing nothing, waiting for you.
By wasting their time, the underlying message you are sending is, my time is more important than your time.
My activities are more valuable than your activities. I do not respect you enough to honor the agreement we made.
It is a form of stealing. You are stealing 10 minutes of their productivity. If you do this to a client, you can destroy a business relationship before you even shake their hand and say hello.
It creates immediate resentment. The person waiting starts to feel angry.
When you finally arrive, you have to spend the first 20 minutes of the meeting just trying to repair the damage and apologize, rather than focusing on the business at hand.
I understand the philosophy, but I want to introduce reality into this discussion. Let us be realistic. The world is chaotic. Life happens. What if I leave my house with plenty of time, but I get caught in a massive traffic jam?
The highway is essentially a parking lot. Cars are not moving.
Or what if the subway train breaks down in the tunnel? Or what if a pipe bursts in my apartment just as I am walking out the door? I cannot control these external events.
No, you cannot.
Am I just supposed to sit in traffic knowing I will be late and accept that I am a terrible, disrespectful professional?
No, absolutely not. Business culture is strict, but it is not unreasonable. Professionals understand that unpredictable emergencies happen, traffic jams happen, trains break down.
You are allowed to be late when things go wrong.
However, there is a strict protocol you must follow to maintain respect. When you know you are going to be late, you must provide a heads up.
A heads up. This is a crucial piece of vocabulary. Let us examine this phrase. Heads up, 2 words. H-E-A-D-S-U-P. Heads up.
What exactly constitutes a heads up in a professional environment?
A heads up is an advance warning. It is a rapid notification provided the moment you realize a problem exists, long before the scheduled meeting time actually arrives.
It is sharing information about a failure before the failure happens. Let us illustrate this with a physical analogy. We talked earlier about table tennis. Let us talk about a different sport. Let us talk about baseball.
An analogy involving physical movement is the perfect way to explain the concept of a warning. How does the baseball analogy work?
Imagine you and I are standing in a park. I have a hard, heavy baseball in my hand. I want to throw it to you, but you are looking the other way. You are looking at a tree.
If you just throw the heavy baseball as hard as you can without saying anything, what will happen?
The ball will fly through the air and hit you in the back of the head. It will hurt you. You will be angry, and rightfully so.
Because I was not prepared for the impact.
Exactly. Now, let us replay this scenario. I have the ball. You are looking away. But this time, right before I throw the ball, I shout loudly, heads up.
What happens when I hear that shout? Human instinct takes over. I lift my head. I turn around. I look up at the sky.
You see the ball flying toward you. Your brain processes the trajectory. You raise your hands, and you catch the ball safely in your glove. You do not get hurt.
That physical reaction maps perfectly onto the psychology of scheduling. The baseball flying through the air represents the problem, the unavoidable fact that you are going to be late.
Yes. Being late is a heavy problem flying directly toward the other person's carefully organized schedule. If you just arrive 15 minutes late without any warning, you are throwing a baseball at the back of their head.
You hit their schedule by surprise. You shatter their plans for the afternoon. They are angry because they were unprepared.
But if you send a message providing a heads up, you are shouting a warning before the impact. You are giving them a chance to look up, see the problem coming, and prepare their defense.
How does this warning actually defend their schedule? How does it help them?
It gives them the power to redeploy their time. Let us go back to the traffic jam scenario. You are stuck in your car. It is 1:40. Your meeting is at 2.
You look at the map on your phone and realize you will not arrive until 2:15. You immediately pick up your phone and send a text message to your colleague.
Let us role-play that text message so our listeners know exactly what to say. Give me a simple, professional example.
The message should be brief and direct. You type, "Hi, David, just a quick heads up. I am stuck in unexpected traffic on the highway. I anticipate being about 15 minutes late. I apologize for the delay and will be there as soon as possible."
You hit send. Now, think about what happens on David's end. David receives the message at 1:42. He was planning to sit in the conference room waiting for you.
But now he has new information. He knows he has a free block of 15 minutes. He can use that time to his advantage.
He could walk to the break room and make a fresh cup of coffee. He can reply to 3 urgent emails. He can review his notes for a different project.
By giving David a heads up, you transformed wasted time into productive time. You empowered him to manage the delay. Because you gave him a warning, he will not be sitting in an empty room feeling disrespected.
When you finally arrive at 2:15, he will likely greet you with a smile and say, "Traffic was bad, huh? Do not worry about it."
You protected the relationship. A heads up is ultimately a profound act of professional empathy. It demonstrates that you value their time just as much as you value your own, even when everything is going wrong. It is one of the most vital communication tools you can possess in the business world.
We have truly journeyed through an immense amount of material today. We have examined the psychological fear of the telephone. We have decoded the distinct roles of financial advisors and consultants. We have analyzed the diplomatic language of arranging appointments and navigating schedule conflicts.
We explored the dramatic twist of the human spam filter and the danger of discussing a portfolio. We visualized the parking lot of a calendar that is booked solid with back-to-back meetings. We learned the power of the pencil. And we just concluded with a deep dive into the cultural philosophy of time and the life-saving mechanism of the heads-up.
That is a comprehensive overview of the vocabulary of scheduling. But passive listening is only the first step in learning a language. To truly acquire these words, we must test your recall.
I agree completely. Repetition and active recall are the mechanisms that lock new vocabulary into your long-term memory. So we are going to conduct a review test right now, inspired by the practice exercises in our source material. This will be an interactive audio memory test.
The rules are simple. I will read a definition slowly and clearly. Then I will pause for a few seconds. During that silence, it is your job as a listener to search your memory and provide the correct English word or phrase.
Yes, I want you to actively participate. Wherever you are right now, whether you are walking in the park, washing dishes in your kitchen, or sitting on a train, when we pause, I want you to say the answer out loud.
Do not just think it in your head. Speak the words into the air. Train your mouth to make the sounds. Do not be shy. Then the expert will reveal the correct answer so you can check your work. Are you ready? Let us begin the test.
Ready.
Question number 1. What is the formal noun used to describe a professional meeting or a firm agreement to see someone at a specific time and location? I will give you a moment.
The answer is appointment.
Excellent. Question number 2. What is the two-word action verb that means to verify a calendar or a piece of information for a second time, specifically to ensure complete accuracy and prevent any embarrassing mistakes?
The answer is double check.
Moving on to question 3. Think back to our visual vocabulary. What is the two-word phrase used to describe a day that has absolutely no free time left, similar to a massive city parking lot with absolutely no empty parking spaces?
The answer is booked solid.
Perfect. Question number 4. What is the verb used to describe an event or meeting that is officially planned, firmly committed, and formally written into the calendar?
The answer is scheduled.
You are doing great. Question number 5. Think about the baseball analogy. What is the two-word phrase for an advance warning or a rapid notification that you give to a colleague when you know you're going to be late, allowing them to adjust their plans?
The answer is heads up.
Question number 6, another visual phrase. What is the verb phrase that means to make a tentative, unofficial plan, an agreement that you can easily erase and change later if an emergency arises?
The answer is pencil in.
And finally, question number 7. This is the most crucial word of the day. What is the adjective that describes having free time, not being occupied by other meetings, or having an empty space in your schedule?
The answer is available.
Fantastic job. If you successfully recalled even a few of those phrases, you are making tremendous progress. You are building a very strong foundation for business communication. But learning does not stop when the audio ends. I want to give you, the listener, a specific task to complete this week. A small piece of practical homework.
Practical application is the bridge between knowing a word and mastering a word. What is the assignment?
Your assignment for this week is to initiate a role-play exercise. I want you to find a friend, a family member, or perhaps a classmate who is also on a journey to improve their English. Tell them you want to practice making a fake appointment. Pretend to call them on the phone. You can even stand in different rooms so you cannot see each other's faces, recreating the actual conditions of a phone call.
That is a brilliant idea. Removing the visual cues forces you to rely entirely on the vocabulary.
Exactly. Practice using the diplomatic phrasing. Open the call by saying, I am calling to arrange an appointment. Ask them, are you available on Thursday morning? Have your partner practice saying, let me double check. Have them tell you they have a conflict. Practice hitting that scheduling ping pong ball back and forth until you finally pencil in a time. Speak the words out loud in a low-pressure environment. It will build the muscle memory and the confidence you need for when you have to make a real call to a real receptionist.
It is an excellent assignment. I highly encourage everyone listening to try it. Before we formally conclude today's session, I want to leave you with a broader concept to ponder. We have spent this entire deep dive meticulously analyzing the technical machinery of scheduling. We have discussed the rules of availability, the necessity of digital invites, the strict culture of punctuality, and the reality of being booked solid with back-to-back demands on our time.
We have outlined a very rigid, highly structured way to live a human life.
We have. And reflecting on this immense structure leads me to a fundamental question. At the very beginning of our conversation, we explored the widespread anxiety associated with making a phone call to ask for an appointment. We attributed that anxiety to a lack of visual cues and the fear of speaking a new language. But perhaps that fear goes deeper than just vocabulary. Perhaps the anxiety is a natural reaction to the overwhelming rigidity of the system itself.
What do you mean by that?
Think about the modern professional world. Our calendars exist on glowing screens. Every single minute of the working day is aggressively quantified, color-coded, and managed. We require digital permission just to have a 10-minute conversation with a colleague down the hall. We have to pencil them in 3 days in advance. In our relentless pursuit of efficiency and perfect time management, I wonder if we have accidentally engineered something vital out of our daily lives.
The human element.
Yes. Have our perfect digital calendars cost us the simple, spontaneous joy of human connection? The joy of walking through a door, seeing a friendly face, saying hello, and having an unplanned conversation. When we rely exclusively on an algorithm to tell us when we are permitted to interact with another human being, a strange inversion of power occurs. We must ask ourselves, are we utilizing our schedules as tools to manage our lives? Or have we allowed our schedules to become the masters that manage us?
That is a profoundly provocative thought to end our discussion on. Does the calendar serve the human, or does the human serve the calendar? It is a brilliant question. I want you, the listener, to keep that thought in the back of your mind this week as you review your own busy days. Observe how the people around you treat their time and decide how you want to manage your own. Well, looking closely at the clock, it appears that our own block of time for today is officially booked solid. We have reached the absolute end of our schedule, and we must respect the calendar and wrap things up.
It has been a true privilege to guide you through this complex and essential material today. I hope you found it illuminating.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. You took a significant and brave step today by confronting these challenging concepts and words. Stay confident, be patient with yourself, and enjoy your English journey. Keep practicing the vocabulary, keep speaking deliberately, and remember that every single new phrase you learn is a major victory. We will be right here waiting for you on the next deep dive. Goodbye.
Goodbye, and take care of yourselves.